From economics reforms like demonetization and GST to the beef ban and the surgical strike on terrorism, some of the NDA's policy decisions have garnered applauses. But a government is not only successful because of the policy decisions they make, but also by how they react to unpredictable trends and random occurrences around the country. Do they immediately hold press conferences to make sure the country's citizens are briefed on how an emergency situation is being handled? Or do they leave everyone in the dark, wondering, what is next? Does the government focus on unifying the country in times of crisis, or does it divide the population? Is it tough on crime and in punishments? In this video, we cover headlines, a combination of unpredictable trends and random occurrence of accident and incident that could make the India again. The first news is India conducts surgical strike across line of control, take out Pak terrorists. In September 2016, 4 heavily armed terrorists attacked an army base in Uri and killing 19 military personnel. And the Pakistani-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed was suspected of perpetrating the attack. In retaliation, the Indian Army and the Prime Modi successfully executed a surgical strike across the line of control and targeting the terrorist camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Then in February 2019, a suicide bomber identified as Adil Ahmad Dar from Jaish-e-Mohammed rammed a car filled with explosive into a convoy of vehicles carrying security personnel on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway near Pulwama. As a result, 40 security personnel were killed in what was the deadliest attack against the Indian Army in Kashmir since 1989. And once again, the Indian government retaliated with surgical strike on the terror camps in Pakistan. Both these surgical strikes were met with applauses for the NDA and Prime Modi. They have not only received appreciation from the public but have been lauded across party lines, evoking a sense of national pride for everyone in the country and creating nationwide support for the Indian Army. Through this decisive and speedy retaliation against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, Prime Minister Modi painted himself as a leader who is not only a statesman but can be counted on to lead military operation too. The slogan "War on Terrorism" can be very powerful in commanding public opinion. It is what helped secure George Bush's second term of power in 2004 and allowed the US to ravage Iraq and Afghanistan for over a decade. Considering India's traditionally hostile relationship with Pakistan, if our war on terrorism is aimed at Pakistan, it is bound to create a public support for NDA and could help Modi secure a second term too. Second news was India rescues 1,000 nationals from Yemen. Yemen has been in a civil war since 2014 and the conflict worsened in 2015 when Saudi Arabia joined the conflict. Air strikes over Yemeni cities were becoming commonplace, killing hundreds on a daily pattern. Many of the people caught in this crossfire were not Yemen's native, and they were expelled from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Britain, France and the US, etc. So in April 2015, Indian Ministry of External Affairs led by Union Minister Sushma Swaraj launched the Operation Rahat to evacuate Indians from the war-torn country, and more than 4,000 people were evacuated, including foreigners from 26 countries, other countries as well. Besides Operation Raj, the NDA-led government has successfully conducted similar operation in Iraq, where 46 nurses were rescued from the hold of ISIS in 2014 and 168 more trapped there were rescued in 2015. And during the 2015 Nepal earthquake, the Ministry of External Affairs launched Operation Maitri and evacuated over 500 people trapped there. They also dispatched tons of food packages, dry rations, water, medicine, tents and blankets to Kathmandu. India's Ministry of External Affairs has a long-standing tradition of coming to rescue of people stranded in wars and natural disasters. But under the NDA and the Sushma Swaraj, this tradition has gone a step further. from saving people from being trafficked to helping them get speedy passports in emergency situations, and the list of the Ministry of External Affairs accomplishment is long and impressive. This steadfastness has created a sense of security in the minds of native Indians and Indians abroad. They feel like the Indian government will always have their back and will be there to help in times of crisis. And this feeling could go a long way in extending the terms of this government. And third point is resolution under IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Creditors recovers rupees 50,000 crore. An extremely fragile banking sectors and a pile of NPS were one of the biggest challenges that Indian government inherited. Yeah, it is inherited from the UPA second, and there was a strong case to suggest that there was politically motivated leading by public sector during the UPA 1 as well as UPA 2 that led to NPS growing out of control. In the light of such circumstances, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was introduced and passed in the Lok Sabha in 2016, and it sought to consolidate the earlier framework by creating a single law for insolvency and bankruptcy. It is a one-stop solution for resolving the issue of insolvency and bad debt of a company by making the purpose faster and more streamlined. Because of the code, creditors have recovered almost 56% of their admitted claims, and thus bringing back around rupees 50,000 crore back into the economy. And the law has undoubtedly has been revolutionary and a hallmark of India's, along with other important reforms like deregulation of petrol and diesel prices, opening up to the more FDIs, shifting to the direct benefit transfers, the GST, and improving the ease of doing business in India. As a result of which, India jumped to from 140th nation to the 100th in the World Bank ranking. And the success of government towards making business easy in India can be definitely contributed towards the possible success of NDA in the Lok Sabha election 2019. Fourth point is Prime Minister Modi launches bank account for all, including as many people into the Indian economy as possible, has been one of the foremost goal of the Indian government since the day it took over the country's executive. Just a month after taking office, PM Modi announced the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in August 2014 with the aim to get at least 75 million people, that is 7.5 crore people, to open bank account for the first time and reduce the circulation of unaccountable cash as much as possible. In 3 years' time, by August 2017, the government helped open more than 294 million accounts under the scheme, that is almost 29 crore under the scheme, with additional benefit in the form of debit cards, insurance covers, and overdraft facilities. This increased bank account use has brought marginalized group into the financial mainstream. Another India program, that is DBT, direct benefit transfer, has been most effective in eliminating layers of intermediaries in subsidy transfers, has helped curb middleman corruption in implementing benefit scheme for the poor and marginalized. And the last one is Swachh Bharat Gramin confirmed the usage of 96% of its toilet. On 2nd October 2014, PM Modi launched the Swachh Bharat campaign. The aim was to create a clean and often defecation-free India by triggering a behavior change about sanitation and cleanliness. The NDA lead government said they would fund the construction of toilets at home and in the communities around the country to control the diseases and crime connected with an open defecation. Through heavily circulated awareness programs and highly publicized cleanliness drives, the government created a buzz like never before about the issue of keeping Bharat Swachh. The strong political will and the inspiring leadership behind the program makes the fact that 96% of rural India is now apparently open defecation free a very unique and impressive achievement. And it is not just toilet and sanitation. The India led by Prime Minister Modi has also made great strides in the environmental conservation at the international level. Prime Minister Modi has been at the forefront of the fight against climate change at COP21 under the leadership. India has pledged to reduce the emission intensity of its GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030. He also vowed to abolish all single-use plastic by 2022. All this combined with the big announcement on the environment can go a long way in winning people's heart in the upcoming election. The last 5 years have not been all good, just like these headlines could make the NDA. There are numbers of headlines that could contribute to them losing the 2000 election as well. Thank you.